Hey, yo, what up, though? Welcome to the Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad podcast. You're tuned in with myself, Jason, and my illustrious co-host, Chris. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. And as always, this isn't the view. This is the dad's point of view. Damn it, we talk about things like ducks, parking spiders, and wiener wedgies. This is episode 7. Episode 6 was far and away our best show. If you don't believe me, go back and listen to all 6. Tell us what you think, Jason. Where can they find our show?
Man, they can find us absolutely everywhere. And when I mean everywhere, I'm talking all platforms. So we're here on Facebook, obviously, but you can also follow us over on YouTube at Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad Podcast, as well as all streaming platforms for podcasting. That's right. So I'm talking Deezer. I'm talking um, what are some iTunes, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio, just to name a few. But we're on all streaming platforms. Make sure you go check us out there at Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad Podcast. Another thing is we're up on Twitter as well. So make sure you follow us on Twitter. That way you can see exactly what we're tweeting about, what we're talking about in the meantime, in between time. And then also we're on TikTok. Rad Bad Sad is what you're going to look up. And that's excuse me, RADBADSAHD. That's right. That's on Twitter. That's on TikTok and on YouTube, man. So that's just about any and everywhere. So what up, though, man? How you holding up today?
Pretty good, man. We took it easy today. We've been running rapid like crazy, and my kids are at that point of summer where they're ready to go back to school. How about you?
Oh man, I wish mine were ready to go back to school. I want them to be ready to go back to school so bad. And the only reason being is because I think activities are starting to run out. They're getting on each other's nerves. Quinn is 100% ready for school. She's already talking about friends. She's already talking about water bottles and book bags and pens and papers. So it's really exciting to see how enthused she is because she'll be going halftime. She's in preschool. Oh, no. Kindergarten, right? Kindergarten comes first. Yeah.
Kindergarten comes after preschool.
Okay, there you go then. Thank you for correcting me. I've always gotten that wrong, even as a child. So preschool, then kindergarten, right?
Correct.
All right. Yep. So she's ready for preschool. She's excited about it because she goes with her sister, and she'll be meeting her at the end of the day. They're coming home together on a bus. So I'm excited just to see the first day launch off. Right. Here in Apple Valley, we go back in September, so it's the first week in September that they'll be back. So yeah, I mean, I'm nervous for it just because I know her temperament, but I think she's going to do well, man. I've done my due diligence this summer and teaching her how to share, how to be um, nice and kind to others, and using her words. So when she doesn't like something or she's like all wooky about things, we have a sit down and kind of walk through those feelings so we know how to work with them appropriately, right?
Yeah, I'm sure she'll just fine. It's and with COVID last year. It's probably gonna be a little overwhelming. You'll probably, I mean, you went through it with Hazel, so you'll probably have the. She comes home from school on Thursday, and the world just she wants nothing to do with anybody.
Nothing at all. Hey guys, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button. Let everybody know that we're out here doing our thing here on the Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad podcast. We'll try to get to this every Thursday, if not, some random day. Being at home with our children is not necessarily tough, but it's demanding, right?
You never know what you're gonna get. You you always see it coming, but then you're always it's always unexpected. It's quite the oxymoron of a life, but it's been a lot of fun. I've been, like I said, running my kids rampant, and they're almost tapping out of summer. I mean, last night they were we went to we rode our bikes to downtown Victoria last night. Went to the car show and went to a restaurant first. Went to a car show, got them ice cream, and then we rode the bikes home. Jackie was so excited because she's done working and relaxed the kids. And then we get home from all that stuff, and then we're like, "Hey, let's go play baseball in the backyard and go swimming." And 3 minutes later, we were in the house because they were just they couldn't hang and they had lost it, and she's pretty frustrated. So she actually said, "You know what? I need to go take a walk." And like so she went for a walk and I did bedtime and they were not happy. I'm like, "Just leave. I'll take care of it." And then so I was like, that's where we're at in summer. Like, and I,
Ooh. So
yeah.
you guys do the nighttime thing pretty well. Is it a tandem situation, or is it something that like you trade off like you kind of spoke about here?
It it is now. It is now. We alternate every day where they get their wind down time, and then after they brush their teeth and go to the bathroom, like one night I go in and I'll talk with Sawyer or read a story or look at football stats for 5 or 10 minutes while Jackie talks with Lily or reads Lily a story. Then we switch, and then I'll sing songs to Lily, and she'll sing songs to Sawyer or whatever, and then next day we switch the process up.
There you
How
go.
about you guys? You
Hold on.
guys kind
So
of
you're singing to them like lullabies and all those sort of things?
uh, no, I've never been a lullaby guy. I pull out all the classics from like it, I sing him. One time, Jackie walked into me singing a song. She's like, "That's not a happy song." I'm like, well, it sounds good coming out of my voice. Like
There you go.
I could
I
write a song. I could write a song. I couldn't sing it though.
Oh man, I love it. The fact that you're singing the songs that I haven't ventured down yet. That I want to venture on and kind of see how the girls would take it. I know Hazel's not keen on my singing because I'm not the best. It's probably even one of the reasons. It's because I'm not, excuse me, that great of a singer. But when it comes to the bedtime routine, a lot of times it's both of us. It's tandem. Sometimes I may just sit back a little bit just due to the fact of I've been running rampant with them. Katie enjoys going in and reading a book to Hazel or vice versa, allowing Hazel to read to her. But a lot of times what end up happening is, Katie end up falling asleep in there with her. So, we a way to stop that or deviate that from happening, I then take over and put them to bed. Um, these last few weeks, Katie's been out camping. She went on a camping excursion with her best friend Holly, and Holly just had her birthday. Happy birthday, Holly! And what was cool is they went up north, in the almost Boundary Waters area. Like I want to say probably 45 minutes to an hour past Duluth, and it was just us. It was just the girls and I, and we fared well. And I made sure that we stuck on to um, bedtime times. I didn't want to deviate from that because then it allowed me to have my own one-on-one time, like nothing to bother me. I got to relax, and I did what you said. I ran them rampant. I had them outside all day. We barbecued, played a bunch of basketball, invited some friends over, so they had some children interaction, and yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's yeah. You keep the schedule, but you throw little wrinkles in it. Like you know what? We're
Yeah,
going out for pizza. We're going out for pizza for dinner tonight, or like breakfast. Hey, let's go to Holiday, grab some donuts. Like, just little things like that. But you're damn right, you're still going to bed at bedtime. Like, you're not
we're
staying
not
up any
deviating
later.
from me.
Yeah.
No,
So,
I've,
and
I've
did you?
but
Go ahead. You go ahead. Finish.
I was gonna say my favorite is I do movie night. So if I'm on my own, I'll do movie night. Excuse me, I'll do movie night and allow them to stay up a little later. But what we'll do is I'll do it one or two ways. First way, I'll make it just like a movie, and I'll make tickets. They'll use their tickets to buy popcorn, and obviously I either made or pre-purchased some candy and a soda. So then they'll, either that earlier that day clean up to earn those tickets slash dollars and be able to pay for what they want when they get to the movie theater, or we'll just walk up to the gas station and then we'll ball out. You know what I'm saying? And do ices and candy and popcorn, and then we'll come back and just you know enjoy ourselves watching Boss Baby. By the way, Boss Baby is a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, I
Uh, my dog's name is actually Boss Puppy.
but nice.
So yes, they were on a Boss Baby kick when we got Boss Puppy.
Gotcha.
So now, who picks the movie? Is it is it a dictatorship, or is it uh, a dadocracy, or how does that work?
That's a good question. So what I do is I play on a TV 3 trailers. One would be like a brand new movie. Another one would be something that is not brand new, but we probably haven't seen yet. And then another one is one of the norm. So I mean, I guess kind of a dadocracy because I'm picking the 3 that they get to choose from. So I
You
kind
picked
of
a you picked a three they get to fight over.
there you go, there you go. Yeah, yeah,
we we had that. We used to have that issue. And Sawyer, for the longest time, he wouldn't watch movies, didn't care for movies, and then he finally turned the corner. And so what we started doing when we do movie nights is everyone pick. I'll do my research and I'll list 25 movies, and
okay.
everybody picks a movie, one that they want to watch, and then it's like it was like this is no holds barred. Even if it's not your choice, as a family, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna watch a movie, and then we pick whoever wins out of the hat. We watch that movie. And actually, the last time we did a movie night, we did Look Who's Talking, and Sawyer would even come down to start watching it. And I said, "All right, you know what? Then fine. Like, mom and dad are sitting down here and watching a movie with Lilly because you're being kind of a little shit and not a team player." But
Basically, I'm not going with it. I don't want to be a part of it.
right,
I'm surprised that he doesn't like movies. Is that just
he's changed his ways a little bit, but there was a good 2 years where he wouldn't sit down and watch a movie. And then up at Ely, his cousins were watching them, and so he wants to hang with them, and so he started watching them. And I was trying to get him for years to watch some of the classics like Ghostbusters and
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know Star Wars. Lily and I watched The League of Their Own last week, and she absolutely loved it. But he just wasn't a movie guy, and which is Lil's the opposite because like her and I will sit down and she won't get up and we'll cuddle and I don't care what we watch. We watched Zombies a couple months ago, and gosh, that was
For
awful. But
sure.
she's all into it, dancing. I'm like, all
Oh
right,
yeah,
well,
I
I
was
can.
gonna say, is it the
Have you se-
dancing high
have you
school?
seen have you seen that one?
Yeah, yeah, all of them. Hazel loves them. Hazel loves every
I
single one.
I was so happy because she told Jackie how good it was, and said, Mom, you have to watch it. And so Jackie watched it with it, and she said, Mom, we should watch Zombies too. I'm like, yes, I'm off the hook. I don't have to watch Zombies too.
No, man. With my children being so separated in age, Hazel's quality of television is quite different from Quinn's quality of television. And I'm starting to see that now. So when I allow them to watch TV at the end of the night to like kind of wind down or as I'm cooking dinner or something of that nature, they're kind of battling over what should be watched. It's
They always they always will battle because we have two TVs. Or well, we have two living rooms with TVs, and Sawyer actually has a smart TV in his bedroom, and they have their iPads, and they still find a way to fight. I don't know how it is physically or mentally possible, but they still find a way to argue. I'm like, yeah, you got your own iPad. Sawyer, you have your own smart TV, but I want to watch this TV right here, and Lily's iPad's in my way. I'm like,
oh my gosh, oh my gosh. That's
all right,
actually
everything off, everything
that's a
off.
good question for you. And what made the decision for you and Jackie to put a television in this room so early?
It wasn't us. It was a gift from Santa.
Ah, gotcha.
I think it was
Ah,
a couple things he really. My thing is, I would rather my kids be watching a TV than an iPad 6 feet in front of them. And
gotcha.
he got really into football last year. I'm talking like he's in a pick'em league with me and my father-in-law, and he actually studies. He watches like every highlight. He can tell you all the players, and I was like, well, we can just put a TV in his room. I mean, he's old enough now, and part of it was, oh, we're trying to. It was I didn't want to get bunch of little shit that they already have or more pieces of plastic or something like that. I was like, what's something that is actually kind of bigger that they might like? And he's got the Switch, so he can play the Switch in his bedroom too. And
Gotcha. Gotcha.
but
That's interesting. That's interesting because I'm at a point where I'm like, I'm not ready to have like I almost like not fought, but I'll say early on in our relationship, Katie and I's, because we've been 11 years, right? Almost 12. And early on,
Hit
I
the
was like,
applause button. Sorry, hit the applause button. I can't do it. You gotta do it.
so early on, I was advocate for no TV in the bedrooms. Period. So even for us, I'm like no TV. The bedroom is meant for the bedroom. Bedroom is bedroom. You know what I'm saying? And I think as adults, we all know what bedroom means, and that's what I wanted to keep it at. But she had other intentions, and ruler of her domain, she said TV's in the room and TV's in the room.
Well, I
Um,
me personally, I don't like watching TV in my room. I watch TV in my room because my wife prefers to watch TV, and she's been gone all day. She wants to come home, lay down in bed, and watch a show. I want to come down to my basement where I am now, where my 65-inch TV is, and I want to be loud and not care. And then as a kid, I always wanted the TV in my room, and I had friends that did, and I mean, it's monitored, but like if he
right, right,
wakes up,
right, right.
if he wakes up in the morning or sometimes during his bedtime routine, if it's my turn to talk with him for 10 minutes and it's Thursday night, he's like, Dad, can we put on the game for 10 minutes? I'm like, oh yeah, I'll put on the game with you for 10 minutes. And
See
actually now him and Lil will chill in his room when they're on good terms and they'll watch a show together in his room. And I'm like, sweet.
that's where I'm exactly at the same areas. Like I I don't want to put a TV. I don't want myself nor Santa or anyone to put a television in their room quite yet. Just because I want to monitor what she's watching. They end up getting on that YouTube, and YouTube is it's a pit, man. It's a pit of one show after another, and after that, after 4 or 5 shows, they're into something completely different than what they started with.
My thing with the YouTube is quit watching them play with their toys and go play with your toys.
Thank
And
you.
I have the that's the my biggest thing with when my wife and I go back and forth about screen time. I said, to me, there is a difference. We actually had this discussion yesterday when I went to work out. I said, okay, guys, no iPads and no show, but if you want to play a game together, a video game together, go for it. And Jackie's like, so it's okay for Sawyer to play his video games, but it's not okay for Lily to watch her iPad. I said, well, a lot of times when I work out, they will play the Switch together. And to me, I
Right,
know it's
right,
still screen time. To me, them playing Mario Kart is different than them both sitting on their iPads watching YouTube videos. Garbage, in my opinion, garbage YouTube videos for 45 minutes. But I'm okay with them shutting their brains off to watch it here and there because, I mean, I'm guilty of watching like Monday
right,
Night
right.
Raw or garbage stuff. And so if it's a half hour, whatever, I'm fine with it. But I mean, do you agree? Do you cipher the difference between playing a video game with your brother and your sister versus watching YouTube or is screen time is screen time?
Sure. No, no, I agree 100% that those are two different things. Mainly because playing video games, I mean, no one's gonna really run it down like this, but it's true. She's working on hand-eye coordination. They are working on hand-eye coordination, but it's critical thinking in fast action moments, right? And instead of just vegetating, right? If they're just watching them play, then there's no imagination, no creativity being done, and that's it. They just watch it. Compared to if they're playing a video game, they like you're thinking, like you have to be doing to make it work. If it's Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, or Battle Mario, whatever the case may be, you're actively thinking and doing. So I think there's a big difference between the two.
Well, it's funny we were actually got on video games is I'm taking Sawyer up to the lake tomorrow, just him and I, and Jack's staying behind with Lil and her are gonna do manis and petties tomorrow, and they got a wedding shower coming up this weekend. And so we decided, like I said, our kids have been exhausted. I mean, Sunday night we had a birthday parties over here, and then Tuesday night, Saturday night, I went to the Vicks game, the town ball game, and Wednesday night we were at the car show. So today we said we're shutting it down, and since mom and Sawyer are leaving tonight, Daddy Lily night, Mommy Sawyer night, and Sawyer wanted to play Jackie in NCAA football on the PS3, and he just beat the shit out of her twice. And she's like, he's
Yes.
like talking shit to me. And I was like, so I tried like giving it back, and then he started making fun of my voice, and I'm like, whoa, no, we don't, we, we don't attack somebody's traits.
No,
We
no,
just
no, we don't.
keep
Right.
it here. But
That's awesome. Hey, so not to switch gears so fast, but this was on my mind. I didn't want to lose it. Question for you: when it comes to explaining things, and that's why I thought about it when you said you don't want to attack people traits. Um, when someone's in trouble or something bad happens in the family, how do you explain it to those guys, to the children?
give me an example, like a death, like a divorce, like a somebody sick, like
All of the above. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or like say you get in trouble, not you, but someone gets in trouble with the law or anything.
I think it's kind of tell them what they need to know, but
Sure,
they
sure.
don't need to know everything. Like we've had some in our family. We've we've had some broken families, and we've had some. I say broken families just because that's the term, but
Sure.
um, we've had some of that, and we've had friends. They have had friends who have gotten divorced, and we just kind of sit down and explain to them, like, this or that, but when it comes to mom and dad, you don't have to worry about mom and dad. Mom and or not worry, but mom and dad, we're always we're always going to be in the same house and everything like that. And it doesn't make anyone right or wrong, but this is you guys don't have that's not on the table for you guys. And
There you
it's
I like that.
crazy that you asked that because Lily's been freaking out. Saturday night there was a plane crash in our town, less than a mile from my
Wow.
house. I don't know if you
Wow.
I, I don't know if you heard about that.
I haven't. No, no, no.
So we were outside. I was outside talking to my neighbor with Lil and Soy, and we came inside for dinner. And literally 5 minutes later, we heard the sirens. And then we went out. I went outside, and my neighbor goes, "A plane just crashed in Victoria." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah," and he heard it was spinning out of control. So Google Victoria, Minnesota plane crash, and
Yeah, yeah.
it was like it like flew over my house, and it crashed like less than a mile away. It was,
It was
I mean,
obviously an open field, correct?
it very unfortunate. There were three passengers on board, and they all died.
Oh, sorry to hear.
And they're only like a quarter, yeah, only like a quarter mile away from a lake. But having said that, it's almost best case scenario because they landed like in a small little lot, and they actually landed in the part of the plane. It engulfed in the flames, and I think it hurt a house, but no one in the house was hurt. It was literally 20 yards away from Floyd's parking lot, which is it was a packed bar. And
Oh, wow.
if it was 20 yards south, it would have hit a gas station and would have been kapooey. And if it was 10 yards south, it would have been right on Highway 5. So Lily's been our smoke detector went off today when dinner was cooking. She's freaking out, and anytime she hears sirens, she's freaking out. And I took the kids to Ely last week, and there's a forest fire warning, so she's already like freaking out. So she's afraid fire's going to come get her. And so Jackie actually showed her the video of the plane crash to kind of help her out a little bit. And yeah, so sorry, that was a long
No,
tangent,
no,
but
no, 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 no. That's good. No, the reason why I asked that, right, is I'll be transparent, right? I'm clearing up a couple things that's happened to me in the past, and it's required me to do some jail time, right? And in that time, I have to go turn myself in for 6 days total. 3 days here, 3 days there. And we put it on the calendar just so Katie and I had idea of when it was and knowing what, to do with it. Like as far as in it's on its way around the corner, right? So if you don't remember or don't know, back in 2019 May, excuse me, excuse me, 2019 May 19th, I received my third DWI. Crazy. Excuse me. It's not Corona. I received my third DWI, and with that being said, I had a bunch of stuff happen. Um, all great things though. Life changing, altering things. and I have no water right now. Excuse me. Whew. Uh, so a few things happened. Altered life. I've been sober since that day. That's a blessing. But it
Hit the
also
hit the button.
right. I've been sober since
As
that day.
as I
That's
drink wine. Sorry.
right. That's okay. That's okay. That's your thing, and I'm
Right.
totally fine with that.
Sorry,
Uh,
about
and then that's kind of I mean that's kind of how I fell in, not fell, but that's kind of how life brought me into this scenario as being a stay-at-home father. But with that there was also legal ramifications. So I have to, I worked through a whole bunch of processing. It took 2 years to finish the legal processing. And what we came up with was 6 days that I had to do. I had to serve in time and 45 days on home monitoring along with, what is it called? Random testing.
yeah,
Now, with that being said, I had to explain to them that, hey, I got to go away for 6 days. So we put on a calendar and that I'm, going somewhere. They thought I was going out of town. I'm like, no, not necessarily. And I'll be staying in this certain place for 3 days. So I had to explain, and that was a tough part. And I'm glad you said it that way. It's like you tell them what they need to know.
yeah.
So go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead and finish.
So I kind of explained it, whereas daddy got in trouble. And since I got in trouble, I have to go and do
A
X.
timeout.
Yes, that's
Big timeout.
you have to go to time to time out. And with
Did you
that,
take somebody's toy?
right. And that was the one part I stayed away. So they asked a question of like, well,
Right.
what did you do, daddy? And I go, well, I, I'd rather explain that to you later when you're older,
Right.
so you have an understanding. And Hazel is so smart. She was like, because I want to understand. I go, exactly. And then Quinn was like, well, I mean, I would still like to know like what it is. She's like, and then Hazel says, it doesn't make sense if he tells us because we don't understand it. So, I understand that part. So at that point, I felt bad as I'm being dropped off, but it's also a eye opener, like to let them know that the world isn't all sugarcoat. Like everybody gets in trouble, and things happen. So when
You
when you do things, you have repercussions.
you already got dropped off. It already happened.
Yep. So I've already finished the first week, which was this past Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then
Congrats.
this week I have this Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Well, I think. I mean, one is, in my opinion, you got to. I try and own my mistakes to my kids, but again, at the
Right.
same point, they don't need to know that. When they're 15, 16, I think definitely you sit down and you talk to them, and I mean, you don't have to give them everything, but just you gotta, you know, yeah. I mean, there, drink, there are dangers in drinking, absolutely.
Yes,
And
yes, sir.
on our dummy podcast, I told you is I love drinking too much to ever abuse it.
Right.
As crazy as that sound, and both of my kids, and alert the police. Both of my kids will have sips of alcohol before at whatever age, and it'll be on my dime or on my time. It's like this is like this is what it feels like. You don't ever get in a car when you're driving, especially like in high school. You don't ever get in a car when you're driving, and you don't ever get in a car with anybody else. And then we'll deal with it. Sorry, that's the alcohol part. But yeah, I think you did it right. Where you got to know, like, I made a mistake. I need to fix it. What's the mistake? You know what? When you get a little older, I'll explain it. You don't have to. I mean, they don't need to know all of our demons, but you can also, you know, give them a little taste of, just to let them know, like, no, you got to be smart and you got to be careful. I mean, you made your mistakes and now you're paying for them. Um, Thankfully, I know because you told me before, thankfully nobody was ever hurt, and
Exactly. Exactly.
blessed in disguise. Now it led to you being with your kids and teaching them, hopefully not to make the same mistakes.
Oh my gosh, I hope not. Oh, hope not. Hope not. Right. But even if they do, um, we still show them the same amount of love. I've got so much love from friends and family, and everybody helped me through this. So thank you to all friends and family for being there and assisting through this. But one thing that I at least was able to kind of give to them is the example of, well, you know how you might do something or break something or hurt something or someone, or not tell the truth, things of that nature. We were able to walk through those type of examples and say, well, there's always going to be the word repercussion. So at one point I had to stop and go, well, do you guys know what the word repercussion means? And they quite not didn't understand it. So we walked through the understanding of the word repercussion and being in trouble and consequences and issues. So I while no one person wants this to happen to them, and let alone have to explain it to their children, I'm kind of glad that it did. And one is getting over with, but two, it's something that is a part of me, and it's a part of my journey. But I can share with my children. Like, yeah, they're a little young, but lessons everywhere. You feel me?
Well, it's got to be that's who you were. It's not who you are, or those are the mistakes you
For sure.
made, or whatever. Now life's different, and you have 3 kids. Not to dismiss it, but it's like you need to keep your shit together because my guess is next time it ain't gonna be 6 days.
Oh my gosh, brother!
So and you got to be there. You got to be there for the kids, and it's there. I'm sure there were quite a few um, discussions at your household where you felt like you were the child, and
oh
and
man.
Katie was still the mother.
Well, you know what? Yeah, we know that if this should happen again, which it won't, I'm guarantee 1,000,000, 2,000,000% that that won't happen again. But um, that was one reason why I kind of have the deal that I have, is because I told him, I'm like, I'm a stay at home father. Like, I cannot be outside the home. If there's going to be big issues, and we can't afford that. And my lawyer and the judge and everybody, prosecution and everybody was very humbled. Uh, Not humble. They weren't humble. I was humbled, but they were very understanding and allowed some great movement with the law and certain stipulations and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but if that were to happen again, it's one of those ones that is a building felony and some issues, and definitely not trying to go down that road. And no, but that was really kind of getting on me these last few weeks. I was just wondering, like, how do you explain that? Because we also had family members that passed away. So explaining death and explaining
Yeah.
bad things to your children. What are some of the or unfortunate, I should say it that way, unfortunate things to your children? Like, what are some of your steps to doing that? So I appreciate you sharing it.
Well, it's tough because I did not have the tragedy that you guys had. So I did lose a couple. I Sawyer, I think, was 4. My uncle was 61, had a heart attack and died. And kind of explained it to him. Now they're older. I was close to my uncle growing up, and now they're older. I kind of talk about it, and I was really close with my grandma. My kids never met my grandma. She died a couple years before Sawyer was born. Really so funny because there's a picture of my grandma. Jackie and me kissing my grandma at my wedding. We still have it up. It's one of my favorite pictures. And every time Lily look at it, and she's like, "That's your grandma, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she died. I'm like, "Yes, Lil, she did die." Thank you very much. So I mean, there's things they need to know, but there's things they don't need to know. I mean, I don't know. It's I guess what you're comfortable with. I wouldn't say lie, but I wouldn't. I mean, they don't always need to know how the sausage is made, but they need to eat the sausage.
Yeah, I get what you said. You ain't got to go into the details. Details yeah, details don't need to be told, especially to someone under the age of 15.
Yeah. Oh, geez. We had one the other day. I'm spacing it now. Something like that came up. Eh, oh, you know what it was actually? It was Sawyer was watching. This is crazy. We're going back to the football reference. Sawyer was watching highlights, and he starts asking questions about Michael Vick. Jackie's an animal lover. And she's like, Michael Vick is a terrible human being. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I was like, bump the brakes. Like, I was like, because I always thought what he was behind was crazy and you know, garbage human being, blah, all that stuff. But then I actually watched a 30 for 30 on him. If you haven't watched it, I would watch it because he grew up in an environment where there'd be dog fighting on the street.
Mhm.
And so, anyways, he rehabilitated and he's done his due diligence and he's doing everything he can. I know there's some people that don't forgive him, some people that do, whatever. But we were talking about that, and so they're asked, kids are asking questions. And we're like, and Jackie's like, so he got pit bulls, and they're like, well, what's a pit bull? So like,
Oh man.
and so I'm like, we're trying to like explain it without like explaining it, and um, yeah, I don't know. So again, give don't I don't know. It's there's a
Dude,
fine line. I think.
now,
What's
you know
that?
what? That's a dynamic right there, right? Like, because it sounds like you have a mindset of one way, and she has a mindset of another when it comes to. Oh, I shouldn't even say mindset. I should say opinion. So, an opinion for who Michael Vick is compared to what your opinion is. I am interested in how you explain that because you're not going to necessarily put him in a bad light of like, oh, he's a very bad
No,
person. Where she's like, nah, it's a Rapsky. He's a terrible individual.
I don't dismiss what he did or
Correct. Correct.
anything like that. But so in that example, who Michael Vick is not who Michael Vick was.
Great.
He
Great.
he was he'll admit it. Like he was ignorant to his crimes and he thought he was better than everybody. He didn't like there were no consequences. He was untouchable. And then he ate a big slice of humble pie. And from everything I've read and seen, is he's turned his life around. He's learned from it.
Sure.
He's
Yeah.
doing what
Yeah.
he can to make up for it. There are some people who will never forgive him, and I'm not taking either side of it. I was just explaining like his situation. Like I was trying to teach the kids lessons. Like he made a horrible mistake and he learned from it.
I understand that. Yeah. 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 No, because I mean, gosh, I'm trying to think if Katie and I ever ran into any situations like that where we just had to discuss, you know, opposite opinions of how you know what I'm saying, of situations, I guess. It's yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. We're gonna come back and revisit that one if something like that pops up at us, you know.
Like how so?
Well, no, I mean, you and I, like, I mean, obviously,
Oh,
we got a lot of life to live, and a lot of situations where we don't, you know, agree with 100% what our spouses say or do or think or have opinions on. So, and then giving that lesson to our children, right? Like,
that's what I was
I,
trying. That's what I was trying to get at. Is
yeah, 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 yeah.
because I understand she's very passionate about it,
Sure, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I like I said, I don't dismiss anything that he had said or anything that he had did, but I also like read as it was happening. I was following along, and I watched the 30 for 30, and so like she would say something, and then I would kind of like well, but actually, well, this is what happened.
Yeah, yeah. Kinda, I ain't gonna
Like
say she's
I'm
wrong, but kind of corrected in the same.
right, right. Like, I was like, yeah. I mean, he totally was guilty, and he was sent to go do his time out, and he did his time out.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But you
So,
know,
you know, for me, I've always, 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 I've always been the devil's advocate. So it's all like, nah, you can't really be the devil's advocate for his particular situation,
no,
because wrong is wrong. But then I would say like one doesn't know it's wrong if that's always been in their quote unquote culture, his upbringing, right? There was
right. I mean, right. But then there's the flip side is that is like you should know better not
you
to.
should, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? And
yeah.
so I don't get into him being right or wrong. I was just
That part,
trying
that
to. The arc of his story was. I was trying to say the important thing is he made horrible mistakes and he learned from them. And
so where I want to bring it full circle, and what I guess what I'm trying to say is explaining that to your children or anybody should, like, you know what I'm saying, one's children is like how, like, making sure they know that it's okay to have different, like, different opinions or knowing facts and having understanding of those facts, they still can be different, and that's okay. Like y'all
Yep.
agree, one, that what he did was wrong, and just continually using this example, one, he is wrong, but two, my opinion on what was done as far as in knowing him as a person and understanding him as a person is something different than only keeping him in the light of the bad thing that was done, right? Because then if that's the case, anybody that's done back, i.e. myself, I will always be in that bad place. And no one can say, well, he's a different person now compared to who he was before. So letting, you know what I'm saying, like walking that line with the child of saying, like, hey, don't always keep this one chapter on the person. If that chapter is closed in their life and they're different from who they were then compared to who they are now, then accept it. I hope I'm not talking in a circle. It makes sense in my
No,
yeah,
what I would say is you got to take your medicine. You're taking your medicine, and
yeah, yeah, yes,
I'm
sir, yes, sir.
you've taken a lot of. You had to take your medicine and get better. Like you messed up, and um, what I always try and teach my kids is you mess up and you own it. So like today, so Dad, can I play the PlayStation? And I said no. He said, why not? I said, why can't you play the PlayStation? Because I was mean to mom and I was disrespectful. I was like, yeah, you did not behave and you need to earn it back. And then, in a couple hours, if blah blah blah, then you can go play a game of NCAA football. And you can beat Alabama and you can beat Navy 95-0. And you can
I remember that so vividly, dude. Playing that. As soon as you said that, those would be the kids. Army. You just no matter who you are, you just demolish them. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had to level him out, level him out a little bit because he plays a freshman mode. So he just goes like he plays like Tecmo Bowl. He'll just throw it
Yeah.
80 yards downfield. So I put it on varsity, and he's like, "They're not catching it." I'm like, "You're damn right they're not catching it because Daddy's got the 2-man under."
Yes. He
And
doesn't know how to
anytime
throw.
anytime you wanted a shot at the title, it's so heavy that sometimes I can't put it around my waist. I have to put it around my shoulder. You want to come get it?
I love it. I love
How the
it.
hell did we get there? So yeah, I mean, some people are gonna criticize me for talking about Michael Vick, but whatever.
Whatever.
But I want to ask you, when so you went back, you had the. It's funny because you had the kids a weekend alone, right? And
Oh,
then
yeah.
a couple days later, I took the kids without mom up to the lake. But I had grandma and grandpa up here. Do you enjoy having time just you and them for pockets, 2 3 days, sun up, sundown? You do you enjoy it, or you're kind of like, oh, fuck, I gotta get through this?
It depends, man. I've had them a couple times like that, and I think when I think back on it each time, I enjoyed it. I mean, they understand how I parent, and they get it, so they're not pushing the limit when it comes to me, because they know what they're gonna get. They're asking me for a gazillion things. They're gonna get a gazillion no's. You know what I'm saying? And then it's me talking to them like, yo, like why? Help me understand those type of things. Like it's just not run of the mill type of things. Not saying that they run all over their mother, um, but they get it. They know because you can see it, right? The mom will come home. They're starting to ask 82 questions compared to when they've been here with me all day and they ain't asked me not one of these questions that they're asking her, right? So it's that thing. So when I look back on it, I love it. I love it. I love being with them. We have fun. I loosen up my reins a bit just because it is me all day. So I loosen up the reins a bit, and we all have fun, man. Yeah, we all have fun.
I think that's the key. That's what I was trying to tell you last time was so you got to be the hammer, but you also
Yeah,
gotta wiggle a little bit, like do something different, like you know, hey, you know what? For lunch today, we're gonna watch a movie, like
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean, something like that, so they know, like, oh, Dad can be fun too.
That
Like,
part. Yeah.
and I was when we were up at the lake, and it was day 2 or day 3, and Sawyer, we put the kids to bed, and Sawyer goes, I'm like, what's up? And he's like, I just miss mom. And I just started laughing. He goes, I miss mom. I'm like, Nice game, buddy. I ain't playing. I saw you swimming all day. I saw you fishing. Tomorrow morning, you're waking Grandpa up at 7:30. I think you miss Mom, but I think that you're okay." And he's like, tried not to, but he just kind of smirked at me. I'm like, "Yeah, go to bed."
Go to bed.
He went, "Oh man, the last day we were there, full day we were there, it was 3:15, and him and I are at the dock. And that was the day he woke my father-in-law up at 7:30 to go fishing. I stayed behind with Lil because she didn't want to go fishing and she wanted some one-on-one time with me. So at 8 o'clock, I'm watching A League of Their Own. But anyways, he was fishing with Grandpa, and it was 3:15, and he's at the dock with me, and he goes, "Dad, I haven't talked to Grandma today." I was like, "What?" He goes, "No, I mean, I saw her when I woke Grandpa up to go fishing. She's still sleeping, but then like I went fishing, and then you and I went swimming, and we did that, and this and that." And it was like 4:40 where he went in the cabin and he sat down, and I went in the house and he goes, "Dad, this is the first time I sat down all day." And I'm like, "Awesome, you had yourself a
That's
lake day, buddy."
right. Yep.
So
He's like, that's my boy.
yep, you had yourself a day at the lake. So
I love it. That's for me, I hear Hazel do the same thing. I'll send them outside and they're on that same note. They're playing, they're drinking, they come in like drinking water, they're playing with right. I gotta clarify
yeah, clear. Especially with what you said earlier, you gotta be
that.
careful now. The attorneys are listening, Jason.
The best part. They're outside, they're playing, they're riding bikes, they're playing in the little pool and treehouse. Well, not necessarily a treehouse, but like a playhouse. And they're doing all the things that normal kids should do. But when they come inside, they're just like, "Whew, I haven't had no water in so long," or "We haven't stopped playing since X." And it's kind of fun just to be able to not have to worry about it because on the other side of that coin, it's them opening the door every 5 minutes, asking, "Can they come back in?" "Oh, it's hot outside." "Oh, do we have to be outside all day? Why do we have to be outside? Can I bring in this? Can I?" I'm like, dude, just go out there and figure it out. That's all I want you to do. Figure it out. While I put this house back together, because when you come back in, you guys are a tornado. Just go outside and figure it out.
Do you find yourself to be a hypocrite? 'Cause you're not a big outdoorsman. You're like, just go outside and play. I'm not going out there. You guys do it.
That's exactly who I am. But then I sit back and I think of you, and I'm like, okay, I can't sit too much. Let me get out here
Going
and
out there, it's too damn hot.
man, I am not an outdoorsy person, man. And I think it might be because what I was, same thing. They told me to go outside, be outside, go, 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 go. Um,
You just poke a stick in the mud. What now?
no, but see, that's the see when I think back, I'm like my children are a little luckier than I am because I didn't have someone that was 4 years old younger than me to play with. You know what I'm saying? So me at some point Hazel can be like, this is too much. I don't want to keep playing with my sister. I either want to play with another person my age or by myself. But Quinn really wants to play with Hazel all day. She's okay doing it all day. I mean, they share the same toys because they have the same interest. Um, they just got to learn how to share a little bit better and not talk to each other so mean. But it's just like you have someone built in to play with all day. I didn't have that. So I literally had to be outside playing with leaves and sticks and stones and kick rocks and create my own fantasy world of entertainment, playing with GI. I would be a famous YouTuber if I was on YouTube at 8. You know what I'm saying? Like my WWF, well, what is it called now? WWE wrestling matches with my GI Joes were epic.
See, I have 5 siblings, and my oldest brother and I we're really close. We're close as we could be now. He lives in Indiana. I
Sure.
only see him a couple times a year. We did not get along when we were kids, and he's 6 years older than me, 7 years
Okay.
old, 6, 7 years older than me, and he was a troubled team, and I was. You wouldn't believe this, Jason, but as a kid, I was a smartass.
Oh,
And
jeez.
if I had a YouTube channel, it would be, "What will Chris say now to get Eric to kick his ass?"
Ah.
Because I didn't care for the pain. I cared to piss him off, and but it's like
Whatever I can do to
there's
make you mad.
but they can rub each other wrong so much, and like there's no one. I don't fight with anyone or play dirtier than anyone than my older brother Eddie, and you know, best man at the weddings, and we were roommates for like 19 years, and we fight like crazy, but like nothing ever breaks the relationship. Like we're
There you go. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we compete over who can eat more at Thanksgiving, and then like, the next day it's my belly aches bad. No, my belly aches bad, but like, but it's just because we're enclosed, and it's good though.
Yeah.
I did want to say this. I saw the picture it was a couple weeks ago. The picture you posted when you were at the library with the kiddos,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I saw another one. I'm not gonna single one out, so I'm just gonna say the group. But your daughters have awesome hair. I love it. It's so
Thank you,
cute.
man. Thank you.
They rock it. I think
They
it's
they all love it. I know who you talking about because she gets it a lot. It's Hazel. Everyone loves the afro. I'm all on it. But you know what? I do that to them all, and they all have different textures, and it's so hard. And that's the crazy part, bro. I do all the hair in the house. That's
wow.
a new thing. Yeah, man. So right. Let me get that one up. It's
I'm gonna take a cheap. I'm gonna take a cheap shot here, including your own. Hey,
hey, that's why we missing it, right? No,
there we go.
no, I try to keep the beard moisturized and combed up. You know what I'm saying?
You took it here and pasted it here, right?
That part. But no, it's a me thing, man, and I try to keep up on it, and I try to learn different styles. It's tough, brother. Doing all that every day, yeah. And so I'm teaching Hazel, like my sister and my mother, so her nana and her TT, they've been in the cosmetology world for years, right? My mother's been in it for 50 plus years and as a hairstylist, and then my sister has been doing nails for and hair for over 30, right?
Wow.
And they tell her the same thing I've been telling her, and she has to I'm like, dude, you have to brush your hair every day. You have to comb your hair. You have to brush it. Like your hair is special, so you have to tend to it as if so. And we're starting to teach Quinn the same thing, but Quinn's hair is so fine and thin. Not thin. I want to keep the word fine. Uh in comparison to it's ridiculous because it's two different textures, and knowing the difference between the two and keeping them both healthy and growing and long.
Right.
Holy bucks.
So I said I didn't want to single one out because Margo's younger, so she's still getting there. But
Yep.
Quinn
So, oh,
and
yeah.
Hazel both have beautiful hair. Like, I, I've been meaning to tell you
Thank you.
they have. Yeah, you're welcome. Sawyer, I don't know if you saw. Sawyer's got a mohawk
I
again.
love the mohawk, man. I was ready for you guys to spike it up a bit now.
No one can touch it. Like he's like, no one messes with the do. Like he's quoting Ace Ventura because I quote Ace Ventura, but he doesn't know it's Ace Ventura, which makes it funnier for me. And he's gonna watch it one day and be like, the hell, Dad.
Right? Exactly.
Oh, I'm like a pop culture encyclopedia, and they don't even get it. Like I just quote things, and now they quote things like, um, the real Slim Shady song, pulling around in a circle, driving around in a circle with the system down and or the windows down and the system up.
Yep.
So
Yep.
anytime my kids go, Dad, can we have the windows down? And I said, you want to drive around in a circle with the windows down and the system up? So they always say to me all the time, Dad, can we have the windows down and the system up? And
Yes. I
Jack is
love
just
that.
like slow turn irk. So like they're gonna be like, I'm gonna get a call from Sawyer like 2 o'clock in the morning when he's in college as a freshman and be like, really, Dad? Eminem.
You've been quoting this Eminem for years.
Right.
That's pretty awesome. Hey, I wanted to commend you before we get out of here, man. Hold on. I want to commend you for still taking both of them to the grocery store. Dude, that's no small feat. We don't even go to the grocery store. If I go to the grocery store or Wally World, I'm doing it at 10 o'clock at night. It's by myself. I don't want nobody around me. I was just in Cub this past Saturday at 2 o'clock, and the place was packed. It was banging. I'm like, I didn't even know this many people was going to the grocery store like that. So I commend you to be taking them to the grocery store with you. Because I can remember as a kid at their age, I was a noose. I was a tyrant. I would run the cart into the back of my legs, my mom's ankles. I'm asking for absolutely everything. I'm talking about any and everything that looked amazing. Can we have this? Can we have this? Can we have this? Are you getting that same treatment when you're taking those guys?
Oh, Sawyer will straight up put something in the cart.
Try to hide it.
But then it's the battle of like, you know, y- Sawyer, like, in my opinion, Lilly is easier than Sawyer. And so like there's a lot more like, and Sawyer is more like vocal about asking for things, doing things. And so like when Lilly tries to get like attention and she gets shut down, she takes it more personal because she sees Sawyer like it's I'm we'll go back to that one, but like I was sticking with the grocery store. So the grocery store, first off, they asked to go to Costco because they want to try the samples. And Sawyer was
Are the samples back?
samples are back. They came the first time.
Wow.
And they said, "Are the samples back?" And said, "No, they're not back yet." And they went where they saw the samples. They went and they got the samples and they go nuts over it. And not only do they eat the samples, even if they don't really like them, like, Dad, it's okay. Let's get it. I'm like, absolutely not.
Why would I get something that's okay?
So when it comes to grocery shopping with kids, football reference, I am the Jameis Winston because I will throw for 450 yards, 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
That part.
The first time this summer I took them to Cub, I was walking around with a badge of honor when we left because people are complimenting them, and the cashier, I won't say her name, but the cashier, she's known us since they were, two and an infant. I've been going with the kids, and then like when Sawyer was in preschool, and like Lilly and I would run for 45 minutes, and like she would, oh, he's gone, and so they've seen my kids and I grow up,
That part.
which
Yeah,
is,
yeah, yeah.
and so like I know people by name there, and they know me and my kids, and it was the first time Sawyer had been there in about 2 years, and then Lil was with me, and then they're like the cashier was like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are so big!" Blah blah. And like I had one cashier literally run across store and say, "You guys are so big and so well behaved," and she's like, "I'm so sorry, I can't give you guys suckers, but like here's stickers and blah blah blah. It's so good to see you." And then like she's like waving other people over, and I'm like, "Hey, yeah, it's good to see you." And like your kids have always been so well behaved. And I'm like, yeah, badge of honor. Now I go
Hey,
to Cub. Now I go to
yeah.
Cub, and I'm not even in the store yet. I'm like, fuck it, let's just go hungry, because they
Oh,
they fight over who gets to push the cart, and then when I push the cart, they pull on the cart, and I'm going every which way, and and then oh man, they just invent ways to fight. I'm like, how is it possible? Like we're here to buy food. This should be a happy place.
this would be a happy moment right now. That's
So
awesome.
you don't even take them to Cub or whatever you have. You go to Target? You have a Target buyer, right?
Oh man, we got everything: Walmart, Target, Costco, Sam's Club.
What's your go-to?
We order from Aldi, so we'll
Okay.
order online and then go pick it up.
There's Sawyer. We're in Cub. Oh man, I'd rather go to Aldi.
Oh, see, no, yeah, we. Here's what I am starting to think though, because Hazel is starting to really get into wanting to cook and help cook. I think I want to start taking her grocery shopping and kind of like putting meals together that she can
Yep.
cook and help with, and then kind of walking her through that. So I think that might start happening here pretty soon. But for now, no sir, no sir, we're not doing none of that because they're gonna want and grab and ask for every. Nah, sir, I'm not. But I'm not gonna lie to you. That's kind of cool to hear that story. That there's people that's been in that grocery store and that seen you guys kind of grow through your journey and saying they remember that and are a part of it.
I think I was actually on one of our shows. I told the story about the the clerk who said, "Now you know what it's like for us women to be
Oh,
with."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So she was one of the ones that complimented and like was happy to see the kids. And this is
Gotcha.
so I want to be like, hey, you remember 5 years ago?
Now
So,
look at us, right?
anyways, I did do a little bit of research, and you asked me about the Melvin,
Yes, yes.
um, if it's the same for girls. According to Wikipedia, which is never wrong, the female version of a Melvin is called Minerva.
When oh what? No, stop it. Are you serious?
Is there meaning behind that, or you just find it funny?
Katie pushed and pushed and pushed, and she tried to get Quinn's name to be Minerva. I said, no, Mike, we're not about to sound like a disease. Minerva sound like I caught something. I caught Minerva. Like,
You want the medicine woman. You don't want the Melvin.
no, we don't want the female milk. Wow, she's gonna die when she hears that. So the female,
Minerva. Where did she get Minerva from?
I don't know, man. And God rest her soul. Sherry Nana, she was kind of on the wagon, like she was on the wagon of Minerva, and I'm like, uh,
Oh.
look, Nana, we're not about to do no Minerva. I don't care what y'all say, how this going down. No, no is a no, no Minerva. That's crazy. Wow. All right, man. Do we have yeah, any other questions or anything else before we kind of wrap this up?
I think I'm good. I think that I think we might be shooting for a Monday episode next week, right?
I thought about that, and I will be in solitary confinement.
Oh, oh,
So
boom. Well, I'm gonna get that. I'll be gone next week, and I'll be getting that quality time.
there you go. There you go.
Um, the which is a Martin Lawrence quote, and actually just reminded me earlier. You said repercussions. There'll be consequences and
The
repercussions. Remember,
repercussion.
we talked about life a couple episodes back. But so I think we'll have to pause next week because I be getting Jack and I first time in 11 years, just her and I, um, going on a trip.
Yeah, man. Enjoy yourself. I know you said you guys are going to Florida, so that should be 100% exciting. When you get
Enjoy yourself in
hey,
solitude.
look, man. We're gonna have fun. We're wrapping up the summer. We actually, let's see, in that following week, you guys. So how long are you guys gone?
We'll be back by the end of the weekend.
Okay.
We'll be back
We'll be
Saturday.
going camping that exact same weekend. So not this weekend, but the next weekend, we're going camping about an hour out, and it's just us and the family. That's it. Like the household. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I am excited. I am excited. I'm turning the leaf. I want to be there with them, and I want to enjoy it. So yeah,
You're gonna be campy, like put me back in solitary confinement. It's climate control.
please tell me that again. No,
Sorry, man. I poke fun at
it's,
everything.
it's hilarious. I'm excited for it. It's different. Um, yeah, I think we kind of got it down. The camping stuff has been sitting out for about 2 weeks now. So I look at it every time I walk past, and yeah, man, let's see. So
Well, hey
we had
man,
a
here's for
conversation
you.
about that.
Here's for you for taking your medicine and for figuring it out. You can't change what you did, but you're learning. Looks like you're learning, and you know you got a blessing in disguise with
That part, yeah,
three little girls at home that you get to spend every moment with.
that part. Yep, yep, 100%, man. And I thank you for that. I appreciate you 100%. There's a lot of growing in all of it, and even down this journey that we got going. By the way, everybody, if you see all this, man, this is our new logo, man. This is it right here. This is we didn't We didn't made it. Oh,
Yeah.
and last before we get out of here, brother, I want you to know we're streaming on a whole network on Roku called Whose Word. We'll
Ooh.
be streaming on that here pretty soon. So not only do you, I just remembered that. Not only will you be able to get us on all the platforms that you see here, but you can watch us on your Roku TV as well. Just download the app called Whose Word, and you'll be able to find Rad Bad Sad there streaming every day, any day you want to watch it. So hey, once again, we're going to conclude this another great episode here on Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad podcast. I am your host Jay, along with my illustrious co-host Chris. Guys, I need you to do me a favor. Remember to be your absolute best, because being empowered starts today. We live life, we love unconditionally, and we seek growth. When you do all three of those, you're in your alpha state. So continue to stay primal and get after it. You guys have a good night, man. You got anything, brother?
You mentioned the logo. I like it. I just don't like that green and gold.
Ooh, hater,
Just kidding.
hater.
You do you, I'll do me, and at the end of the year, the Packers will be 13-3, the Lions will be 3-13, and we'll keep the logo up.
That's exactly.
I'll wave the flag.
Oh man, you guys have a good night.